But very quickly, it turns into this unsustainable level of things that you have to get done. So you've got to manage your kids and their online school activities, or you've got to work from home, or you've got to do both at the same time. And then all of a sudden, you don't have the energy anymore to keep going forward with those things. Hi, I'm Dr. Angela Mackay, chiropractor and naturopathic physician, and I want to talk to you a little bit about downtime. People are feeling guilty because they're not getting enough done. They have these big lists of things like, oh, I've got all this free time. I'm going to clean out my closet. I'm going to bake some sourdough bread. I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to totally rearrange my yard. I don't know, whatever it was for you. And then they don't have the energy to get it done. The reason for that is because we only have a limited amount of capacity to deal with things of this nature. It's called surge capacity, and there's a link down below to a really good article that explains it really well for you. But when the pandemic first started, it's like, yay, I get some time off. It's like a giant snow day. I'm going to bake cookies. But very quickly, it turns into this unsustainable level of things that you have to get done. So you've got to manage your kids and their online school activities, or you've got to work from home, or you've got to do both at the same time. And then all of a sudden, you don't have the energy anymore to keep going forward with those things, because you can only maintain that level of surge for so long. You make it through the crisis, but this crisis, because it's not ending, it's not sustainable. You really tax your adrenals if you keep trying to push through it. So ultimately then people tend to collapse. You know, it's hard to get stuff done. You want to just lie in bed and watch movies, and the dishes are piling up and the house isn't clean and your closet didn't get cleaned out or whatever it is. So I want you not to feel bad about that, because that's a totally normal response. Nobody can keep that level of energy up that maybe you experienced in the beginning of the pandemic, although that was probably mixed with a little bit of fear as well. So there are two types of processes that go on in the nervous system, and I'm sure you've heard about fight or flight. So that initial fight or flight, that response is really meant to help you fight off a bear, run away from a bear, do whatever you need to do to survive. You get a little bit of that fight or flight mode when you get that initial surge. You have that initial bit of energy to help get you through the crisis. And then when the crisis doesn't go away, you can't maintain that energy level forever. So you absolutely need some downtime. The other side of that coin in terms of the nervous system is the rest and digest stage. So the rest and digest is where you want to be most of the time. It's where you're able to digest, because the blood in your body is not going out to the muscles to help support you in running away from a bear. It's all focused on your GI tract, on your stomach, on your intestines, to be able to absorb nutrients. And you cannot absorb nutrients if you're in fight or flight mode, because all of that blood flow is out of the extremities getting ready to fight off an attacker. And you don't have to worry about nutrition at that point. You need to worry more importantly about survival. So if you've ever noticed that like you get your best ideas when you're in the shower, that's because you're not having to do something else. You have that downtime, and that downtime is really important for the creative process. So when we talk about rest and digest, I'm not just talking about digesting food, I'm also talking about digesting all of your experiences. So when you let things sit, when you have some downtime, when you get enough rest, when you feel at peace, that's when ideas come into your head, because you're able to digest and synthesize and process all that other stuff that's going on. So that part of things gets overlooked in our culture. We tend to be produce, work. And people don't tend to value that downtime. So if you happen to live with somebody who's still in surge mode, like your partner or roommates or whatever, and you happen to be in rest and digest or absolute adrenal collapse mode, you know, that's going to be a mismatch that can cause some friction in the household during this pandemic. But know that your rest and digest mode, or even your collapse, is necessary, because you need that downtime to be able to restore yourself and rebuild, to be able to get up and get back to doing the activities that need to be done, and to create another surge to get through the next part of the crisis or just daily living. If you're at a point where you feel completely flat, you've far exceeded your surge capacity, and you're totally pooped, and you can't foresee yourself ever getting back to even rest and digest, but you're just totally flattened, give us a call. We can do telemedicine visits. You don't have to come in, and we can get you back on track, heal your adrenals, and get you balanced out. If you have any questions, drop them below. As always, take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you again later.